Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome in. It is Friday. I hope you're having a great weekend, but you already know what that means. It is time for another episode of Snaps Best Bets. Again, though, we're coming off of a fire Thursday night. Look, Baylor W, sneaky good last night, I thought, but really, can you say enough about the passing battle that was the Commanders-Bears game? I mean, Wentz throwing it all around the field, Fields throwing it all around. What an exciting NFL game last night. Really fun stuff. But today we got some more fun stuff as we got three more best bets each for you. Try to win some money with FanDuel this weekend. I'm your host, T-Bob Hebert, joined by your other host, Mr. Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up, man? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling the board this week. I know there's some weeks where you and I kind of like back and forth, but it spoke to me this week. This is our week, T-Bob, to get you going in the right direction. And,
whoa. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this.
You got it, my man.
No. There's like an inherent like condescension there, inherent patronizing. Like you're trying to sound like a supportive teammate, but really you're just showing that I'm in the throes of it a little bit here. But it's okay because I've been in the lab and we're not overthinking it. I love the board this week. I love these three picks this week. But yes, to be clear, following a 3-0 week about a month ago that had me feeling all fat and cocky, even the parlay hit like your boy's like, I got this shit figured out. 1-8-1 since that moment 1 month ago. Okay, so again, mathematically, as impressive as going 8 of 10, but whatever. 1-8-1, brutal for me. What are you overall in the season right now, Aaron?
I am. I was the king of 2-1. Like I was just kicking ass. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Been a little bit down the past 2 weeks. Have gone 1-2, 1-2. So overall, still though 10-8 on the season. So above 500, which is always the goal. So feeling good. But I'm ending the 1-2 streak this week. We're going back on the winning train.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, then I'll let you start us off this week, Aaron. Give me your first best bet of the week.
All right, my first best bet of the week is Tennessee getting 7 points versus Alabama. I'm trying not to get too excited about the game. I know you are too, T, and I know you're a VFL for life now somehow. But I think Tennessee actually wins this football game. And the fact they're getting 7 points at home, and I'm going to give you some interesting stats right now. Alabama at home is only giving up 189 yards per game, but on the road, 374 yards per game, 241 yards passing per game they're giving up. So this is a team that is very different when they play at home. And this is, you say this a lot about a lot of football teams, but defensively a big jump in yards given up per game for Alabama, and especially the secondary. And we saw it all year long, man. We saw it versus Texas with Quinn Ewers out there throwing the ball. Shoot, we even did see it a little bit last week at home versus A&M. I mean, for how bad that quarterback has played for A&M and the lack of good fundamentals, he had one of his best games statistically throwing the football against Alabama on the road. This is just a defense that is struggling on the back end. Teams are finding ways to slow down Will Anderson. And you look at Tennessee right now, Hendon Hooker, this may be the game where he literally jumps from, what was he? We talked about like plus 1,000 to being closer and closer to catching up with CJ Stroud in the Heisman conversation. And the weapons are phenomenal. Jalen Hyatt's playing at an all-time high. Brew McCoy had a great game last week, and hopefully you get Cedric Tillman back as well. It's a three-headed monster, along with Jabari Small running the football and Hendon Hooker running the football. Like, how does a defense that has struggled on the road match up against one of the best offenses in the country, the best offense in the SEC? So I love what Tennessee has on offense. And defensively, I think they're going to try to obviously to make Alabama one-dimensional. That defensive line for Tennessee has been great this season. They've struggled on the back end a little bit, but they are getting a little bit better. But also Alabama is not any kind of world beater throwing the football this season. So I think it's a really good matchup for Tennessee. I don't know if I'm just trying to convince myself some way or the other that Tennessee's going to win this football game. But 7 points with probably the best environment we're going to see all year long, the biggest game in Tennessee in the past 20 years with the best offense in the country. Give me Tennessee with those 7.
Look, man, let me tell you a little something about being a V4L, okay? that for life, that's some real shit right there, okay? And I've been in this fight, and this is the year where Tennessee finally gets it done. Everything you said, the strengths match up with the weaknesses, and honestly, even if Bryce Young plays, you're not getting a fully healthy Bryce Young, which is a huge hit for them.
Yep.
I think Tennessee wins as well. Let's go, Rocky Bob, Tennessee. My first best bet of the week, NC State at Syracuse. A little ranked on ranked ACC battle. And who am I riding with? You already know. It's the Loud House, baby. I'm riding with Dino Babers and company. Give me Syracuse minus the 3.5. And here's the deal. First off, Syracuse this year, 4-1 against the spread. NC State 2-4. Syracuse has been significantly better, outperforming expectations, whereas NC State's been underperforming. I'm done with the pack. It is time to finish them, okay? This is a season in which we crowned them before we should have. Well, now I'm ready for them to get out of my sight. And look, make no mistake, this is going to be a rock fight in the Loud House here, Aaron. You were talking about the best two defenses in the ACC in every single category. Like it's really impressive what these two defenses have done. And so if you tell me that it's going to be a rock fight and points are going to be hard to come by, I will side with the team that features the nation's leading rusher in Chase Brown and the second highest rated passer in Garrett Schrader right now in the second highest rated passer in the ACC. Like Devin Leary's off this year. Devin Leary's off for whatever reason. The jump I expected him to take, he was so good past couple of years. He is just not there this year. He played awfully against both Clemson and Florida State over the last couple of weeks. So sure, rock fight, nasty, Loud House. Give me Syracuse. I don't even give a damn about the hook. Give me Syracuse minus the 3.5.
All right, I want to go to my second one of the week is Penn State getting 6.5 points versus Michigan at the Big House. I know it's a little bit scary going to the Big House. I know that's, we talk about Tennessee being a hell of an environment. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy there in Michigan. But I've said it all year, man. I don't trust J.J. McCarthy throwing the football. And I do agree that he was the best choice for Michigan going forward as the quarterback. But when you're so one-dimensional, and they got a great running game, don't get me wrong. Like I think their running back, I've talked about it before too, that, if they continue to win ball games and they win this week versus Penn State, he's someone that's also going to continue to climb in that Heisman conversation. But, right now, to me, if I'm Penn State, I'm just going to load the box. Like there's no threat of playing too high safety. I want to play single high. I'm going to press on the outside. I'm not going to give you free access throws. And I'm going to say, hey, man, JJ, if you're going to want to beat us, you're going to have to push the ball down the field, go balls, post routes, corner routes, things that he's struggled with this season. I think Penn State up front is pretty darn good as well. I mean, and both teams are. I mean, let's be realistic. Both these teams are two of the best defensive teams in the country against the pass, against the run, all of that. It's going to be a defensive struggle a little bit in this football game, and I would check that over-under as well if you want to look at that action. But Penn State offensively is a little bit different this year. And the big reason why is their two freshman running backs and Singleton and Allen are running the football well. The offensive line is doing their job, and they're taking pressure off Sean Clifford, who doesn't have to be Superman every single game. You're seeing him play to a higher level because he doesn't have to take this offense and feel like he has to be the runner. He has to be the passer. He has to go out there and throw 3 or 4 touchdowns. So you're seeing more balance. So I just think overall they're a better football team. I think they're a better offense because of that balance and with the experience of Sean Clifford. And I think defensively they're going to be able to slow down the running attack that Michigan wants to go out there and kind of beat you up there at the line of scrimmage. And, you also throw in the fact that they're not afraid to go on the road this year and win big time games. You go back to week 1 versus Purdue. That was a dogfight. They found a way to win that football game. I know Auburn is not a great football team, but they went to a hostile environment on the road against an SEC team, and it wasn't just a win. They beat their ass. So they know how to focus on the road. They know how to win on the road. They know how to run, and they know how to play defense on the road. And that gives me confidence that the Nittany Lions are going to go into the Big House and actually win this football game. I think they're the better football team. So hell yeah, give me the 6.5 points.
So you're saying 6.5, and if you want, take the money line. You're feeling pretty good about it.
I think for both my teams, I'd like the underdogs to win both games, honestly. This one, not as much because they're on the road. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say this one, not as much as Tennessee because you have to throw in the fact you're on the road. This is a a hell of an environment. That's why I feel a little bit more confident Tennessee winning the game at home, but definitely 6.5 points. I just don't think, Michigan's offense is anything to be scared of.
Okay. So I'm starting to feel here, Aaron. Maybe we put this in by the end of the show. I'm starting to feel a little money line parlay. We're talking big money, right? Tennessee win, Penn State win, and then how about this? USC money line win as SC is traveling to Utah, 3.5-point dogs. Okay, yes, that's right. The Trojans are getting 3.5. You're like, what? How's that? They're top 10. Utah's coming off the loss to UCLA, right? Well, and that's because Utah's a damn good football team. UCLA is a damn good football team. And so this line stinks. This line stinks in the exact same way that the line that we took against Oregon State did, okay? And I got burned for that. But y'all know me. I'm an idiot. And all that burn means is I have no more nerve in it. So I'm going straight back. I am the petite Trojan boy. And I like SC here, dude. Like, I'm calling upon all the powers of Papa Colin and all of his West Coast football prowess. It is time. We need, with both teams being so hot, we need an undefeated UCLA versus an undefeated USC, okay? And that takes the Bruins get it done against Oregon this weekend, and it takes USC going to Utah. And a USC, dude, feel disrespected. Like, feel disrespected, okay? You got one of the best offenses in the country. You're top 10 team in the country. You're undefeated. Utah lost to Florida. They lost to UCLA, and they still have them favored over you. Oh, and you owe them. They beat the shit out of you twice last season, okay? But revenge is a hell of a thing. And I don't care that Jimmy Cole, whatever, the California boys. I don't care. There's no great advantage we had. Both teams 4-2 against the spread, so nothing there. I'm just riding with the petite Trojan boys. I think we're going to get that undefeated battle for LA. And if that's going to happen, this has to happen. Going to be USC plus the 3.5. And I will probably throw a money line bet on it as well.
I'm a little bit nervous on that one. I'm not going to lie. Utah is tremendous at home. I think 2 losses over the past 4 or 5 years. They play extremely well there. They run the ball. They possess it 33 minutes of time of possession this season, which is tops in the Pac-12. And USC struggles against teams that just want to pound it, run the football, keep your offense off the field. So,
I feel you.
T-Bob.
I feel you. I get it.
Hey, I'm going to be rooting for. I'm going to be rooting for. I'm going to be
Utah a little bit.
Our Trojan
you're a
boys.
UCLA guy anyway now. You're not really a petite Trojan boy anyway. You're a UCLA boy. You and Jake Hester can go. You're Bruin boys.
I am more of a Bruin boy. I like the colors a little bit better. So I do agree with you on that one. We'll see. Hey, listen, we are the voice of the UC or of the LA teams. So I will be cheering. So I'm probably not going to put any money on this one because I'm a little bit scared that Utah can just possess the crap out of it and kind of beat USC down running the football. So, all right, my number 3 game of the week, we're going to the Big 12. 2 of the best teams, once again, undefeated teams. A lot of great games this weekend. TCU, Oklahoma State. And I'm going to go over that 68.5 points. Both these offenses are rolling right now. 2 of the best offenses in that conference. 2 of the best passing offenses in that conference. And also 2 of the worst passing defenses in the Big 12. That's going to be an issue. Both these teams right now are playing at a high level. Spencer Sanders is having his best season. Max Duggan, you and I were talking about before the show. I thought you made a great point, T, that if he goes out there and balls out this game, with a lot of eyeballs on him and TCU remains unbeaten, he himself is going to continue to move up in that Heisman conversation. So I think TCU is the better team. And I was kind of torn for this game of did I want to pick TCU as 3.5-point favorites, and I'm probably going to myself selfishly put some money on that line. I do like them winning this game, and I think they cover that spread, but I just think both these teams are going to score a lot of points. Oklahoma State, every time I watch them, the defense is horrendous, especially on the back end. I've already laid out the stats. I think this is a game that's going to be, somewhere in the 40s. Like, winning team may score in the 40s. And you look at TCU this year and how many points they're scoring. I think every game that TCU's been a part of has been in the 60s total points scored. So it's not going to be any different this weekend versus another great offense in Oklahoma State. So 68.5 points, it's a lot, but not for these offenses and not for these defenses.
Hell yes, man. I know we talked about it on yesterday's show, but I too have now come over. Even though I love how Kansas performed last week, I too have come over to the Doug side. I believe And Max, I think after this weekend, he'll be a legit Heisman candidate. TCU will be in the top 10 and in control of the Big 12, which is wild. Sonny Dykes, man, year one. Okay, my last team of the week then. It's a team that, well, quite honestly, they've been hitting all year. People continue to fade him, and they continue to show up. Now, they pushed last week in brutal fashion, but that's okay. I'm going right back to the well with Kansas. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, Kansas on the road in Norman against Oklahoma, getting 8.5. Dillon Gabriel's in. Jalen Daniels is out. Vegas is telling me that Oklahoma's a much better team than Kansas. Why in the world would I possibly go Kansas? You know why? Because they have grit. They have a head coach that they actually believe in. They believe in one another. They have heart. You got me fucked up if you think I'm about to back an Oklahoma team that just put together one of the worst 3-game stretches you've ever seen, ever, in the past 40 years of college football against the spread. Even when Dillon Gabriel balls out, they still lose. When they lost to Kansas State, Gabriel threw for 334 touchdowns, no picks. Okay, so I don't care. Jason Bean, what did he do coming in cold against TCU last week? The quarterback, he goes for 286, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. He runs in for another touchdown, 50 more yards. Like, okay, look, I'm rolling with Kansas here. OU's a bad football team. That's what we have to accept. And this is where we drive the nail in the coffin. Jason Bean's a 5th-year senior. His entire life's been building to this moment. Give me Kansas plus the 8.5. Kansas, the best team in the country outside of James Madison against the spread this year, whereas Oklahoma's been complete shit, 2-4. Give me Kansas or give me death. And shout out to all the listeners from Kansas, as now the FanDuel Sportsbook app is available in Kansas. That's right. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk.
I like this. I mean, we keep waiting for Oklahoma to beat Oklahoma, but we just have to come to a realization that they're not a good football team. And Dillon Gabriel will bring some juice this week, but you just can't cure what they are on defense. They are a bad football team on defense. And Kansas right now showed us last week that regardless of who the quarterback is, they can score points.
I have an outside feeling, too, that Venables might be losing this team. I think the exact opposite is taking place with Lance Leipold, and I think that matters a lot. Yeah. Okay, so my best bet's to run him down. I like Syracuse minus 3.5. I'd also play the under there if you want. USC plus 3.5. I'm saying F it, probably playing the money line. And then Kansas plus the 8.5. What do you got, Aaron?
All right, my 3 are, I got Tennessee plus 7 over Alabama. I think Tennessee actually wins the football game. I got Penn State plus 6.5 there versus Michigan. Once again, I think Penn State's a better football team. Going to be a little bit tougher. I don't know if I'm going to go money line there just because it's on the road, but I think they do cover. And then TCU, Oklahoma State, 2 of the best offenses in the country. Going to get over that 68.5 right now on FanDuel.
If we're going to do a money line parlay, let's say you do Tennessee, you do Penn State, who should the third leg be? Who should the third leg be?
Don't bitch out. Don't bitch out now. Put
USC I would choose USC, but you were crapping on it. I didn't know if you wanted USC attached on there. If you want USC on there, I want to put USC on there.
I mean, what about your
Tigers? Do you really work for Colin
honestly,
Cowherd or not?
What about your Tigers getting 2.5 versus Florida?
Bro, you think this look at my face. I can trust anything with LSU right now. I am not touching LSU with a 10-foot pole. Okay, I should have been taken off of this case years ago. I have no idea why the chief let me keep investigating. Okay, it was my own cousin that was murdered. Like, of course, I'm too close to this case to be. I can't. So no, I'm not feeling very good about LSU going in the swamp.
I'll throw in a 3-way parlay with Penn State, Tennessee, and USC.
Here we go. Money lines only. Money lines only here from Team Snaps.
It's right now. You put those 3 teams in plus 2,500. You put $10 in, you make $250.
Hey, and all that means is we're guaranteed to win because that's how long odds work, right? Like the more money you're going to win off that win, it's definitely going to happen. So let's go ahead. Bet that money on FanDuel, FanDuel Sportsbook app, promo code SNAPS if you download. And look, we'll see you Saturday night for some Snaps After Dark, and then we'll be back Monday, as always. Also debuting on AMP on Monday, Amazon AMP. So look forward to that. It's going to be like a little bit of a cool, loose pre-show show. It's going to be a ton of fun. Keep it locked right here on Snaps, and we will see you tomorrow night.